this morning I went up to Denver to buy some wheels. Unfortunately, I bought them for the LSS 13. They don't fit the front because of the big brakes. The rear fit perfectly, 18 by 9.5 plus 40, perfect fitment on a S13 coupe. The front, I think they need to be like 9s in a different offset, like maybe 45 or something like that, or not 45. It needs to be 9s in 35. So 18 by 9 plus 35 will probably fit on the front perfectly. I don't know because I don't have one yet. So I was kind of disappointed. I got these wheels for the 240 and I was like, they don't fit. The rears fit perfectly, so when I order wheels for them, I'm gonna get 18 by 9.5 plus 40 in the rear. And then I'll have to figure out the front offset. You know, I was just like, man, these wheels are dope. I want to put them on something. And then I thought, well, what else has 5x114? Well, the wheels that were on the FD are these Inky RPF ones. They're 17 by 10s plus 38, and they're 17s. So, you know, I really like 18s over 17s just because they look better. You don't have to run such a fat tire, like sidewall wise, and you literally can clear bigger brakes. Yeah, look at that change. The fitment I like. The rear, it looks like it's tucked a little bit, but it does have, I think, a couple degrees of camber, which I'm going to take out of it. So I think it will be like the front because the front doesn't have any camber and it's perfectly flush. So I think the rear should pull out and do the same once I get an alignment on this thing. I also raised the front so you can see the front isn't like the tire isn't under the fender anymore, and you know, there's no rake, so the car is nice and low. What exactly is happening with the FD? So what's happening with the FD is I'm waiting for parts. I was gonna, you know, have the stock intake manifold polished, put the AM True Boost in and all this stuff, and then I ended up ordering some parts from companies, and the intake manifold was supposed to be here before I got back, and they didn't ship it out until I called them after I got back. So that was unfortunate. You know, I wish I would have had it because I still need to make sure I have all the ports that I need to on the intake manifold for the boost controller and all the stuff that needs to go into it. I need to put on it and then take it, get it polished, have it anodized, then put it on the engine. So, and then I'm waiting on the fuel system. So hopefully that stuff comes this week so I could take it to the polisher and then the anodizer sometime next week, and then I could get this thing driving again. I'm kind of disappointed it's not driving, and I still need to order injectors for it. I have the fuel rails and fuel lines and all that stuff coming. I'll probably make my own fuel lines, maybe. We'll see what happens, but you know, there's that. So that's why I haven't been driving the FD. I should have probably ordered the stuff beforehand and then took it apart. But the whole thing with the battery, I really wanted to pull the intake manifold off and just kind of button everything up just because of the whole battery arcing situation. It kind of scared me. I didn't want anything to happen with fuel and it to like start leaking and light on fire. And I just, you know, got paranoid because I didn't put the car together. And it was definitely, things were happening and I didn't like them, so I just wanted to fix it. So the battery will be in the trunk, fuel system will be new, intake manifold will be new, get a new tune on it, and I have these wheels. I need to get tires for them, and yeah, I think I should be good to go after that. So that's what's happening with that. What's happening with the 240 right here, I am still wiring everything up. My original plan was to put the fuse box in the quarter. I definitely changed my mind on that just because it was starting to get a lot of wires bunched up. And then I still had to bring some more wires for the time control circuit to the back, which I was like, nah, I'll just put everything in the kind of original fuse box location. What's happening with the VR4? So the VR4 over here is still in the stage of I cannot find a hood. I have one fender. I still need another fender. driver fenders, what I need, and I need 2 doors. So that's what's happening with this. I've been looking for shells, cars, and all kinds of stuff. So hopefully I can find that soon. I definitely need to find it within the next couple of weeks. Then I could, Trevor's gonna start finishing up the Supra. The paint booth is going to be, well, the wedding tent slash paint booth is gonna be open. So I plan on spraying all the body panels, and then you know, probably start working on the body and hopefully get that painted and everything. So this could be actually drivable again. So that's, you know, that's something I really want, is this thing to not be sitting in here so I can't drive it. I mean, I can drive it, but you know, it doesn't have anything on there. And then I'll have the front end conversion. It'll be all nice in one color. And I actually changed the color on it. It's still purple, but you guys will see it. And I'm probably gonna use that one color that I had made for the 240Z. So that Midnight Opal, I'm probably gonna use on the 240Z, not paint blue like everybody. I'm sure somebody will paint a 240Z that color sooner or later, but you know, that's the color I wanna paint it. Over to UPS, of course, when I need that crank seal, they can't find my address. It's a reoccurring issue. I don't know why they can't find it, but it always seems to be when I need the stuff that they're delivering. So yeah, I'm just glad it's starting to look clean in here and not a bunch of, you know, wire and everything all over the place, and zip ties, cut zip ties, and just random like tape and everything. So I think I should have this and that all done pretty soon, and all the electrical stuff will be done other than the engine wiring. And then I could be a little bit closer to having this thing done. It will feel nice to actually have all the lights and all the electronics. So the windshield wipers, everything should work, hopefully. All right, so I got so the box of parts finally came in. Well, it didn't come in, I had to go get it. But other than that, here's a new seal for the Audi. I think, yeah, this has to be the seal. Let's see. Yeah, new seal, you can see in there it has a little tool to fit over the crankshaft. Then set this over here. Actually, we'll set it on the table because I'm going to do that really quick. Then I got a magnetic drain plug for the Volvo. Here's the Gates timing belt for the Volvo. The new water pump, idler, and the tensioner. So I should be good to go when I decide to do the timing stuff on it. As everybody knows that knows these manifolds, it has a these usually have little nipples sticking out for the rubber hoses, and I had to buy one off of eBay because nobody in town had one. But it's the drill bit and the tap, M16 by 1.5, and then the drill bit and the tap for I think this is M8. Can't remember what I was going to tap it. Let's see. Yeah, M8 by 1.25. So tap those, and then it'll be ready to take to the polisher with this. The lower intake, I'll take the timing cover, and then the valve covers and the coil cover over there. I actually may tap those 2 top ports on the RB valve covers there. I may shave them, still deciding. Okay, so you can see those holes don't have threads, and that hole has nice threads. So, all right, so all of the ports are now tapped, and I was thinking about taking this to the polisher, but I forgot that I still haven't ordered the flange for the coupler. So this is the intake manifold I ordered. It's the Elite Rotary Shop version 2 manifold. They're telling me that people have doubts because the runners are kind of curved like this, but it doesn't affect anything, and it actually makes the manifold sit in the stock location, is what I was told. But I still need this throttle body spacer because I'm using the Rotary Works throttle body that's all billet instead of having the original FD throttle body that has like the 3 different little chambers. So I liked that. I upgraded to that. Okay, so here's the new manifold. I just have it set on there. It's not even bolted on, just so I could see where the ports on the back sit. They sit way too close to the firewall to have my boost sensor in for the true boost. And because it goes back here, and this thing extends pretty far. All right, so I just left Audi. The guy was nice enough to give me that seal, so I have the seal. Hopefully I can put the rear timing cover on finally, put the heads and everything on. I'm going over a polishing place. This phone's probably gonna interrupt me, but I'm gonna take the FD Elite rotary shop intake manifold to get polished, and then once it's done, hopefully it's done by the time the fuel system comes. All right, so over here at J&S Polishing, hopefully I can get this manifold polished within the week. To the parts store to get a crankshaft seal. Yesterday I went to the drags, the streetcar takeover. This year it seemed like it was a lot smaller than it was last year. It seemed like there was a lot more spectators maybe, but there was like 75% less. I'm back at the shop and I'm pretty excited because I've been having this issue with the Audi engine, putting it back together, and it's all been around the crankshaft seal. So I got an original Volkswagen one. It you know, I don't have the installation tool, so I decided to buy a Cortico crankshaft seal because it came with an installation tool from FCP Euro. Both of them were from FCP Euro, but the thing with this is that the installation tool, because I don't have the OEM Volkswagen installation tool that you need to put the seal on, so this is the one they sent, and I'll show you the issue. So this is the male seal, and as you can see, the lip right here has a little protrusion, and it's all smooth, and the seal will it sits directly on top of it and slips in there. See, it slips over the crankshaft just enough that where it presses down to, it's not covering. So the issue I had with the other Cortico one is it's literally the same size. So it pretty much just sets you up for failure, because if the seal catches any lips, it literally deforms it. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it went on, but it caught right here. See how it's like kind of squarish? And these seals are Teflon, so they just want to like pull back like that. See how it's like kind of weaker right there than it is right there, because it caught there. That's why I ordered another seal, because the fact is that seal would probably leak. And since this is on the back of the engine, you know, all the timing stuff's on the tranny side, I'd literally have to pull the whole engine back out, or pull the tranny off. I'd rather pull the engine, but I'd have to do that to change the seal. So since I knew that the two seals that I put on here before, the original Volkswagen, did the same thing. I tried it twice, and then this Cortico one, it just set me up for fail. So this is a male one, or I think it's male or Mahale or something like that. But this sets you up for success because it slips over the crankshaft all the way, and it literally makes it so when you press it on, there's no chance of the seal actually backing over itself or catching an edge or doing anything weird. I think all I need to do is clean this little bit of RTV that I got on the chain right here, because I was, you know, trying to position it, and then it like was doing weird stuff and trying to fall over. But after I do that, I could reapply the sealant, and then I should be able to finally get this rear cover on and get the heads on. So the new crankshaft seal is installed, and you want the back of the cover, the lip on the back, to be flush with that lip, not flush with the outside lip. So Audi has like an installation tool that has the correct amount of indentation, but if you drive it in a little bit past and then drive it back, and then you can get it nice and flush like this, and then you shouldn't have any issues. And I don't think I'll have any problems with you know, with that little lip you can see in there that fits in the crankshaft. So I'm going to put some silicone on this, throw the cover on the engine after I clean it, and then I should be able to put at least one head on today. Okay, so I finally have the rear cover on, and you can see the crankshaft seal tool, and it just pops out. And yeah, so get the male one, and Mahale, or however you say it, and you'll save yourself a lot of headache. You can see I like to not gob on sealant, and you can see that there's a nice little bead protruding in some of the place. This was actually, the bead was pretty far in back here, so you won't see it, but everywhere it's close you do see it. And then on the inside you can see that right there, that doesn't actually overhang that much. It's just kind of like the factory. So, okay, so I'm going to remove the old thermostat. I have a brand new one, and after I replace it, I'm going to do this cover right here. There's a gasket for this, and I'm probably going to vacuum all this mouse poopy up. Mice are inconsiderate animals. Replacing the thermostat, now I'm doing this valley gasket. So the reason you do that is these two passages right here, 1, 2, have coolant running through them to the water pump that goes to this passage right here. It pretty much just loops through that little top cover, and it kind of looked like it had a little crusties on there, so I got a gasket to replace it. And yeah, I'll throw this on, bolt it back on, should be able to bolt the heads on. I need to clean the cylinder walls up. They have been sitting for a little bit just to make sure there's nothing in them. And then yeah, I kind of sucked all, there's a lot of dust or like sand in these like crevices, so I vacuumed it out. Okay, so literally I'm back at square one. I'm getting so tired of this stupid Audi engine, but had to pull the cover back off. I still can use a crank seal. That's not the issue. The issue is that the factory timing chains that I pulled off, so this timing chain is longer. Well, the factory one, this is an OE one, but the factory one that came off this engine only had one copper mark, and the boxes these came in didn't say left or right, so I just matched up the one copper mark on this side. I've already swapped them, so the one copper was over here, which is the shorter one, and the longer one was over there. So I put that passenger side head on, and the issue with this is that once you put the cover on, you can't get the chains off. So I had to pull the whole cover back off to get the chains back off so I could swap them, because this right hand timing chain, or the passenger side timing chain, is shorter. So I mean, I'm really getting tired of messing with this and pulling it apart, and I'm just like not making any progress with it, just because, you know, I keep running into issues with crappy parts and parts not being correct. So hopefully I can get this thing, I'll get the cover back on it, get the head back on it. The thing with that is these are stretch bolts, and I've already stretched this set of 8, so I'll have to get 8 more head bolts, and then actually we could see how much they stretched. So here's a non-stretched one, and here is a stretched one. So let's see exactly how much it stretched. I mean, it doesn't look like it's stretched at all. Yeah, it doesn't look like they stretched at all. Yeah, so the bolts don't look like they stretched, so I'll probably just end up reusing those. The head gasket, you know, it didn't get hot or anything, so I'm gonna put that back on. I just don't like crushing stuff and then re-crushing it, so that head gasket's has rubber, but I'm just disappointed that I had to take this apart. I'm just not happy with, you know, the parts that I got, because they, you know, I don't know what's going on with the whole, well, first it was the crank seal, now it's the timing chains, just a pain. Okay, so I have the rear cover and the flex plate bolted back on. Well, the flex plate, the spacer, and the little ring bolted back on, and so the chain is on the other side. Hopefully everything goes better than it was, and I can get the head back on it and that side all the way completed and timed. And then once that's done, I need to still put all the put one valve in the head, put all the springs, retainers back in that head, and then I could put it on the engine. So it has literally taken me quite a bit to get to this point in this process. So the head is on, the rear cover's on. All I need to do is put the other head together and put it on. So, I need to still torque this this side, and then I haven't released the pin for the tensioner. You can see that there isn't that much slack like the other chain. So, I mean, it's getting there. I need to torque these. If you're doing one of these engines, a good thing to note is when you're looking from the back of the engine, so everything's on the tranny side, the right side chain is the shorter of the two. The driver's side chain is just a little bit longer when you hold them up next to each other. I wish I would have known that in the beginning instead of going off the markings, which I thought would have been correct, but they weren't. But, you know, it's getting there. So if you like the video, subscribe, comment below, click that bell to get notifications. Thanks for watching. See you next time.